Hello, everyone. My name is Jay, and thank you for joining us for this special presentation, something that we have prepared for ONLive 2025. In our previous presentations, we talk about VTuber security or VTubers communicating with the media, and now we are doing a different topic this time. It's not just me who's speaking in front of everyone, and we have invited two speakers, and I can trust that they can discuss this, especially in their perspective as VTubers. So imagine this: you are a VTuber, you are someone that prepares the schedules, grinds all of those content, and your content is much appreciated. However, there will be some days that you will feel like there's not that much hope left in this scene. The top dogs have either left us, and April was a terrible month for VTubing. And this May, since we started preparing this introduction, I think it's kind of getting worse because most of our news feed is either filled with the bad stuff, the drama, and there's no one way or two ways or three ways around it. There's no excuses around it. It's just that. And of course, all of this is definitely not good for the morale of everyone, whether you're a VTuber, whether you're a fan, because you are here to entertain people, and then you're burning out. Burnout. Yes, that is the topic of our discussion, and with us is Hello Mirai. She is taking her exams, her board exams, and all the best to her. And also, we also have the one and only Shioripon, a general surgeon, and she has been talking about medical matters in her streams aside from playing games. And if she's not busy as a general surgeon, she is also entertaining people. So, with that said, we will now go to our discussion.
All right, ladies, thank you for taking your time to join us in this conversation. I know it's very hot at the time of this recording, and it's very very dramatic pa in a sense.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
first, all right, first off, we were talking about burnout, and I think it's everybody's facing it. Everybody's contemplating about their life decisions and how did they came to be and what's their future here, especially VTubers who are thinking that they may not have a future within this space. So first and foremost, both of you have like the medical expertise to explain and the medical psychological expertise that we trust that we can explain this in a manner that very well resonates with every VTuber who's going to watch this at OnLive or outside OnLive. So let's break down the definition of burnout basically. So I want to know more about the definition of burnout based on how you learned about it. So I'll start with you, Mirai.
Oh, for me, based sa field ko in clinical psych, burnout is actually a chronic stress. So, the more that you experience chronic stress based on a lot of frustrations or a lot of things that doesn't work out for you, if it's in terms of the VTubing community, it often leads to exhaustion. It often leads to sometimes we detach from some people bigla nag-hiatus, 'di ba? And they also
Mm-mm,
feel
Yeah.
a sense of ineffectiveness. So,
mm-mm,
yun yung meaning ng burnout for me, in short.
mm-mm. Okay, so thank you for that. How about you, Doc? What's your take on the whole this whole burnout thing in a medical sense?
It's pretty much the same. Especially you feel like you feel exhausted all the time, like always tired.
Mm-mm,
Sometimes you're irritated all the time. You're feeling overwhelmed with everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get more anxious or you have anxiety, and you also like lose you have this feeling of you don't have any more motivation, or you lose interest on what you used to do. Something like that. Yeah, so all of that combined, and what happens is like, your performance in doing things is a lot less than usual. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, but what the Mirai said. But that's those are the things I felt when I felt like I was gonna get burnt out. I would feel all of those things.
Since you raised the topic of burnout, you started with talking about dealing with burnout. Yeah, tell me more about it. Tell me more. How did you deal with it? What was like the the things that you did in order to motivate yourself, keep motivating yourself?
Okay, like, when I feel like I'm, because I can feel kasi when malapit na, or I'm at the verge of burning out, or I'm starting to get burnt out. As soon as I start feeling yung palagi akong pagod, as soon as I start feeling tired, or like, wala akong motivation, I just don't do it. I stop. I take a break. Very important yung taking breaks. Kasi especially if you're a busy person like me, na every day I would go to the hospital morning until afternoon, and then sometimes every 3 days go on duty, which is like 34 hours or so. There are times when I'm really, really tired, and so even if I have a scheduled stream for, like, let's say, yeah, I have a scheduled stream, I schedule a stream at 9 p.m. on this day. If when I come back home and I feel really tired and I just don't want to, I just take a break. Like, I don't worry about having to miss out, because, my well-being is more important. If I keep streaming without taking breaks, like, even if I don't feel like it, the quality of the stream would be not as good, right? Because people can tell if you're tired. But yeah, I would take breaks, and then, sleep earlier than I'm supposed to. What other things? Do something else. Basically, do something else. Have me time. Exercise. Go out and touch grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
In all consideration, being in a state of burnout, kasi we've already seen several cases of VTubers. We've already seen several cases of VTubers saying that, okay, maybe I'm not convinced with my character, the design, the personality that I shape, the audience that I have, especially with the kind of audiences nowadays. People tend to really go ballistic or progressive about these matters. I'm saying the word progressive, but you know where we're going. So, uh, yeah, there's so many factors in this burnout, but I've heard from already like some warning signs from you. How about you, Mirai?
Factors of burnout. Yeah, there are a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not a one size fits all. Of course, it comes in every VTuber has different factors naman. But
Okay.
the most common ones usually, ito especially for those who are in the corpo, heavy workload, the pressures of
Yeah.
doing more, di ba?
Yeah.
Work overload. Yeah. Lack of
Mhm.
control, being powerless about things that they wanted to decide over their creativity, di ba? So
Mhm.
usually they're managed by their management. And
Mhm.
then yung unrealistic and unfair expectations, especially when you have a big community, they're expecting you to be like this, like that. Sometimes you question yourself if it's still you, or are you just filling in the gap that your audience are trying to create out from you, 'di ba? And aside from that, negative interpersonal interactions, 'di ba, mga conflicts, 'di ba, yung mga drama, the
Yeah.
usual that we see on social media. And then misalignment of values, 'di ba, si Gaugura, sabi niya, disagreement with the management. If I remember correctly, just correct me if I'm wrong. So that's another
Yeah, that's
thing.
what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
of
what she
course,
said.
yeah, okay. Good. And then challenging environments, minsan toxic yung workplace, depende kung anong klaseng workplace that you have as a VTuber, whether you're indie or a corpo, micromanagement. Ayun, that's some of the factors. Aside from that, of course, internally, meron din mga factors that you might consider or everyone could consider. Yung personality natin, of course, on how we see things. People pleaser ba yung VTuber? Siyempre, pag people pleaser ka, lahat gagawin mo to the point na you exhausted yourself or if you're an overachiever, stuff like that. Aside from that, self-esteem. So, kung mababa yung self-esteem mo, you'll always feel hopeless, you feel bad about yourself, magkamali ka lang ng konti, na-cancel out ka as a VTuber, you'll feel sorry about yourself too much to the point of made-depress ka, stuff like that. And aside from that, the way we cope about stuff. So, if we're not prepared for this kind of adventure, sometimes a lot of VTubers are caught off guard on this part. They don't know how to cope up with things like this. Kasi syempre, ang dami mo nakaka-interact. So, there are many problems arise as a VTuber. So, yung coping strategies, how to, what Shiori said, na nag-distance siya, taking a breaks. Some VTubers don't know that. It's not on their vocab to take breaks. Sometimes they feel that VTubing is, ay, kailangan everyday nag-stream. So, may mga ganong feeling. Kasi parang feeling nila, more engagement, more followers, more money, ganon.
I see that a lot.
Yeah. And there, aside from that, of course, yung mga problems IRL nila, it also adds to the, more stress for them. And lastly, eto, marami din to, negative self-talk. Sometimes, they're too criticizing of themselves. Pag hindi nila nagawa to, they feel end of the world na wala na, ayoko na, stop na ako. Bigla na lang sila mag-quit. Mga ganun din tendency. So,
Yeah.
I think I was able to cover everything. I think, baka si Shiori, baka may ma-input.
Yes, Doc, maybe you can add something to that.
Yeah, a lot of, ayun nga, yung sinabi ni Mirai na, at least for corpo, I think that would cause burnout, yung expectations talaga. Kasi if you're in a big corpo, like in Cover or in any color, Niji Sanji or HoloLive, there
Any
are,
other VTuber agency
yeah,
that is.
there are very, very high expectations, especially
Yeah.
from the audience. And
Mhm.
aside from that, yun nga, you have to, there's a set of things you have to do, especially because, you're being handled by by management. So there's less freedom and yet very high expectations. So, ayun. Especially, yun nga, with the recent, announcement of Gargura's graduation about the,
Yeah.
not, disagreements with management, something like that.
Mm-mm.
Probably, I'm just thinking, probably there were some changes in the or in their, direction of the company or the corpo and Gargura is unable to deliver, something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Like, not in a negative, like, they're, but like, what she wants, it does not align anymore with what the company wants, something like that. So, and when it comes to like smaller indie VTubers like us, I've seen that a lot. Yung sinabi ni Mirai na, they set high expectations for themselves.
True.
They set really high expectations for themselves. Like, okay, we're gonna do this on my debut. Like, you know how a lot of VTubers like to prepare for a grand debut. They have to get the best looking model, the best rig. They have to have a debut video. They have to have whatever yung kung anong pakulo na grand debut, just like in Corpo, yung magagandang debut. And they would get like maybe the debut day itself, when they debut, they would have a lot of viewers, right? It's always like this. Day of the debut, a lot of viewers, maybe like 100. Sige, let's say 100. The next stream they have, you cut that number in half. That's the number of viewers they will have on their second stream, and then on their third stream, cut that in half. So it's like, yeah, I see it all the time. Like the debut is like, oh, I get this much, but then the next stream you only have half of that, and then in the next stream it's like half of the last one, and then the more they stream, they feel like disappointed. Like, why is it like this? Why is no one watching me? Like when I debut, there was so many, and then they start feeling defeated. Like they feel like worthless or compared to other people. But the thing is, that's actually normal. When you have from a debut and then you have less, that's actually normal. That's very normal. They're not everybody, not all VTubers are successful just like that. It takes a really long time. It takes a long time to grow for a lot of other people. And these new VTubers shouldn't really feel so bad about having a few viewers, because if they keep at it and if they really, if they're passionate about it, eventually they'll grow. But that doesn't mean that, if you're passionate about it, it means you have to like really stream, grind every day. Because, I'm pretty sure a lot of these VTubers have something to do in real life. They're either a student or they are working. They're working. So they have to prioritize first. Like, if school is important, or like their work is important, because that's how they're gonna, earn money to survive. And they can't, like, if they are tired, they should take breaks. They should rest. They shouldn't think about, I have to stream every day consistently so that I can maintain my viewers and all that, or have a lot of rake in a lot of views to be successful. I have to, because I used to think that way. I used to think that way. Back when I started, because back then I started during COVID, so I had a lot of time in my hands. So I would say, okay, I have to stream every day. Like, I do 2 streams a day because I had a lot of time. But then, like, after a while, when things started to get normal, and I started to be in the hospital more than normal. Like, we were moving back to the normal, and that's when I realized I can't do this. I have to lessen my streams, and that's when I realized, like, I have to have breaks for myself. Like, I'm okay now with just streaming 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes once a week, because if I'm really feeling tired and not feeling it, then I will do that. Like, there's more. Sometimes you have to prioritize what's more important to you, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Of course, it's different when you're a full-time VTuber, though. I think they're the ones they really spend time on that. So, yeah, and that's
Going to the, like, beyond VTubers, beyond creating content. The reality here is that we are now in the age of content, and we especially are now in the age of quotas. Like, you scroll on Facebook, you see the Italian brain rots. Some of them are very discriminatory, and then you see like your news feed. Tapos the algorithm allegedly, or maybe just as basis, puts the most controversial topics, the hot ones, the hot takes on your news feed more than like the best moments, or either way, as anything that has many reactions, comments, and shares gets to tend to be put on the news feed, either Facebook or Twitter, most especially with YouTube. And it's also hard to monetize your content, especially on YouTube. I'm in touch with another like VTuber or creator that tracks how many VTubers have been demonetized by either YouTube or Twitch. So these are external and internal factors which are leading to burnout. So a very challenging situation. We've rounded about like basically the most of the situations, and I hope that everyone in the audience can relate to this. And really, when personally, my perspective when I started this, doing this VTuber news thing, even going as back as 2020 with Anime Corner, I didn't expect something that seems to be like the future of entertainment would end up being like, oh, high school drama. Oh, uh, ano ba to? The drama, the controversies, like you stepping on eggshells, the anxiety is watching me, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've laid out all the matters at hand, but if we want to help VTubers, fellow VTubers, fellow creators to do their kind of stuff, how do we start with it? This is like really deep conversation. How do we start with it? How to Kasi it's hard to motivate people when they're at like the verge of giving up. It's the challenge. So I'll start with you, Mirai. What do you think about this?
Um, First and foremost, since everybody's becoming aware of burnout, one of the best
Mm,
things that we can do is to offer ourselves as a safe space for them, safe and accountable
mm,
space. I need to
mm,
emphasize accountable because not everything is considered safe. So
mm,
we have to be safe and accountable for them. Of course, we have to call out wrongdoings, syempre. So,
Yeah.
yes.
ayun, we got to present ourselves as people that they can rely on with their thoughts and be free of judgment kasi that's what a lot of people are fearing about when they try to share na this is how they feel and so on and so forth. Usually they shy away from the idea of sharing it to people for the fear
Mm.
of being judged or what you call this na ano sila invalidate, there you go.
Humble, humble
So
bragging or parang ganun,
Yeah.
di
yeah,
ba? Parang may mga ganun.
yeah, so the more that they feel that there are people that they can consider as their safe space, the more that they feel that they have this emotional support in any way, regardless if close nila yung tao or hindi, online man or IRL, as long as they feel that they can reach out to people around them, it's a good start towards helping themselves out. And it's just a bonus if the support system will be able to dish out um, perspectives or fresh insights to help them out. It's just a plus point. What matters is that there are people willing to listen to them. At least it would help them alleviate the heaviness of the feelings of burnout. So yeah, that's
Mm,
one great step. And to remind them also that although there are a lot of things that are uncontrollable, there is still things that they can still manage or control for the time being. Like the things that Shiori-pon suggested earlier, the
mm,
taking breaks,
Yeah.
and so many other stuff that they can actually do for themselves to take care of themselves. They can focus on
mm,
things that they can control first. And in the long run, ano rin nila yun eh, na-navigate din nila yung the stuff why they feel burnt out and eventually
Yeah.
things would make sense. So yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
Uh, the reason why I brought up the idea of discussing burnout is because I have been burnt out. We go back to you, Doc. Doc, when you felt burnout, did you also felt it physically?
Physically, yeah, more like ano ba? I would feel more sleepy. Sleepy,
Mm,
always sleepy, yeah. There were several times where uh I have a scheduled stream and I take a nap and then I oversleep and I miss my stream schedule.
Oh, that's
It happened to me many times before. So that's one. And then if I wake up like 30 30 minutes after, schedule, then I'll just push through with it. But then if it's like an hour, I'm like, I'm gonna cancel it. But that's one of them. I get extra sleepy. That's one of the physical signs for me. So yeah.
I see. Thank you for that, Anna. How about you, Mirai? Did you also felt like the similar situations with that?
Yeah. Personally, since I didn't start as a VTuber, as a content creator, I think Jay knows that I've been
Huh?
doing content since 2018 as an
Mhm.
illustrator and a mental health content creator. I also felt that, and yeah, just the same. I feel tired. I feel
Yeah.
tired. I just don't want to do
Mhm.
anything. I
Yeah,
just wanna I just wanna set everything
I just
aside.
I just want to be a rock on the floor.
Yeah.
Parang ganun.
I just wanna be hermit for once. Sometimes that I'm not sure if I was able to mention on the factors or whatever or the signs. I'm not sure, but what I felt is I feel irritable. Like, of course, I can't show it to people. Na, I don't like to talk to you. I feel irritable
Mhm.
with sometimes there are people from my community trying to talk to me. As much as, of course, I
Mhm.
can't lash out, of course.
Wag mo akong
That's
kausapin.
not proper. I just keep myself quiet. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's a lot of mindfulness involved na no, Mirai. Just step back, stop what you're trying to think. So yeah,
Mhm.
it takes a lot of willpower to like manage yourself as well because the moment syempre if you lash out, they don't understand what
Yeah.
you're dealing with. So misconstrue nila, magiging issue pa, 'di ba? So yun,
Uh-huh.
Maka-cancel
it's
ka.
challenging. Ma-cancel ako
Maka-cancel
for
ka.
all the wrong reasons. You can't say na
There's
I'm
always
just
a lot
burnt
of reasons.
out. But yeah, it's challenging. And yeah, what I did is I took a long hiatus from the yun nga, may initial content which is mental health text illustration. And then napunta naman ako sa VTubing. Ang galing 'di ba
Oo
nag-transition.
nga
But
eh.
yeah, naging ano ko siya. I think it became hobby. That's also another thing. She already mentioned earlier that you need to venture out on other things that you might want to try. Something new or something that maybe it would be fun to do it. New hobbies and touch grass, maybe meet new people. You try to introduce yourself to
Mm.
a lot of different things. Kasi if you do the same thing over and over again, especially if you're expecting a lot, like other VTubers, they expect to be big, they expect to earn a lot, and
Mm.
nothing's happening with them.
Yeah.
So you gotta try other stuff. You try to channel your energy to some other things that maybe you might see yourself enjoying it.
Mm.
So yeah. And that's why I'm a VTuber now. So yeah.
Na-channel niya ni Abby sa
Na-channel
video.
ko as a hobby. So, hindi ako nag-expect talaga as a VTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there.
Thank you for that. Okay, so to recap our discussion so far, to set the proper expectations, to have like a good tight-knit community with you, like a support system with you, like to know the signs of burning out, to know kung if you are still moving or you are no longer moving because of anxiety. Because we have this thing called functional, we have this, I'm trying to remember this, but it's
Depression?
about
Functional depression?
functional depression. Functional depression. I to explain, there are times that I don't want to do anything. Like I just want to like even if the matter is urgent, I just cram it. Pero for nowadays, I just don't do it. I don't have the confidence to do it. That's one example. So, what do you think about that, ladies?
Uh,
I give the floor to Shiori.
wait, wait, I'm not sure about functional depression. Yung mga depression, alam ko yung ibang depression. Wait lang. Wait, let me look up functional depression. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay.
see,
Go
see.
ahead.
While
Yeah, because
she's
I'm not.
looking, yeah,
Yeah.
while she's looking, I'll help her out. Functional depression is like, um, you can do your everyday chores, everyday functioning, like schoolwork or
Mm.
social interactions. But there's this crippling feeling that you feel the usual symptoms of depression, feeling down most of the day. You're just, kumbaga parang you're trying to parang kinakaladkad mo yung sarili mo to do things just to be functional.
Mm.
But at the end of
Mm.
the day,
Like you're
the
doing the
feeling
bare
is still
minimum,
there.
something
Yeah.
like that.
That's, I think that's the best description about functioning
Okay,
depression.
so it's like you're
Yeah.
doing the bare minimum to like
Just
do your
survive.
every
Yeah.
just to survive, but
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
something's weighing on your shoulder, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay.
It's okay.
The whole matter about Gargura really, when she released the video, her final project, it dawned upon me that something is wrong. But you can't just it's not a black or white situation where you can just blame the company just like how you blame it could have been worse. We have to recall the dark times. I don't think I've interpreted the whole Gargura project, the whole music video really, but feeling isolated with pressure in you, and you're doing your best to have a facade, right? Because VTubing is a facade, and in but for real, you have your yeah, like you're living the best of both worlds. You're like Hannah Montana. You're like you have your private life, but nowadays, kasi even your private life's being interfered. Which worst comes to worst, you get dogs, you get all these things. Like, uh, going back, there are seven. We have that fact. We have those factors connected. Na we have to take control of what we can control. But what if the things that we cannot control are the ones that are taking control of us?
Yeah, something like yeah, what you said, the pressures. Pressures are
Mm.
pressures, and like what demons inside us, something like that, that's taking over,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mm.
Yeah. What about uh ano ba, Mirai?
Nag-iintayan lang
Wala ka
eh.
Yeah.
Nag-iintay.
Wait lang, let me string my thoughts
Yeah,
together.
let us process the
Yeah.
question. It's very deep.
Yes, yes.
Mabigat
Yes, that's
actually.
okay.
Mabigat yun.
Yes.
Mm.
Because I don't know, it's I mean, I think kasi if we're gonna put it in like, with Gargura and what's happened in Niji Sanji,
Mm-mm.
it's it's bigger because yun nga kasi company, and the audience is much larger. I mean, compared sa smaller VTubers, because I think at least smaller VTubers or non-corpo have more control unlike in sa
Mm.
corpo. I mean, that's why these corpo VTubers, as almost all, if not, I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them, as soon as they graduate, they come out as an indie. It means that they enjoyed being a VTuber, or they enjoyed content creating. But the environment is just totally different. When you're an indie, you have full control on what you can or can't, or what you can do. Not like in a company or a corpo, or anything, a large corpo, where you are limited, you are controlled, or you have limited options, and it's like I guess parang you feel trapped, parang ganun, like you want to do something but you can't do it because you represent the company, and you can't always say what you want to say, or you have to
Yeah.
be careful of what you tweet or what you say online,
Yeah.
because people
Mm-mm.
can, with a large number with a big audience, even if a lot of them are good people in the audience, there's always at least a few that will clip you, and then out of context and post and like, oh, this, you said something, and they make it look bad. So they
Mm-mm.
have to be careful of that, and that's why, there's, you don't feel as free. I think, at least that's what I think
Mm-mm.
they have felt. That's why, because
Mhm.
they enjoy that what they're doing, but they don't enjoy anymore being in the environment they're in. They have to
Mm-mm.
be free, or why else would they go back to being, become an indie or reincarnate? I think it's more like there are definitely some people who are okay with some VTubers who are okay who are okay being controlled, or more like having a boss, or having
Mhm.
someone on top of them supervising them or managing them. And there are others who prefer to be their own manager, or prefer the
Yeah.
freedom of everything.
Mm.
So maybe before, because Gargora has been a VTuber for a long time, right? She has been Gargura since when did she 2020
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
At that time, kasi at that time, if you are part of a company, you are a good VTuber, you're successful, you are a VTuber, you're like a legit VTuber. That was during that time. And as the years go by, people are starting to recognize more yung mga indies na, indie VTubers are pretty cool too. Because back then, it was
Mhm.
really, you won't be recognized much if you're just an indie. But before, it was all corpo. Yung HoloLive, Niji Sanji, or whatever,
Mm.
VShoujo. Well, VShoujo came out a little
Yeah.
later, but if you're, but nowadays, they're starting to recognize indie VTubers, and
Mm.
they're starting to get more popular. So I
Mhm.
think for at least for VTubers at that time, when they joined that time, it uh they felt like they achieved something once they got in. They debuted as a corpo VTuber. It's you're successful. You are one of the big VTubers. You are one of the uh most successful VTubers there. And so
Mhm.
you start doing your work as that VTuber, and probably through the years, because 5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
It's like you outgrow it, or you just feel like you can do this already as an indie, something
Mm-mm.
like that. Like you're already at a point where uh you're ready to go your own way and do things
Mm-mm.
your own way, something like that.
Mhm.
This is a,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
something
That's so
like that.
true.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's what happened, because especially if the direction of the company you used to work to goes somewhere else, but your goal or what you want is, something different,
Mhm.
then it's your time to let go and do what you want. And you feel you're
Yeah.
ready to do what you want on your own,
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just to add
Yeah.
what Shiori said, it's like when during the time when corpo is a thing, like everybody wants to be in corpo
Mm.
and everybody's vying for that application, audition, what have you.
Mhm.
People feel like when they enter in the corporate side of VTubing, they'll have more wings to, spread out and, be a bigger person out there in the
Mm.
scene, in the VTubing scene. And just like what Shiori said, Gagura has probably exhausted everything, most likely from
Mhm.
HoloLive, and maybe this time she's aiming for better heights, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think she cannot get it from HoloLive anymore. So probably that's the reason why there's a quote unquote disagreement from management.
Yeah.
Maybe she was able to
Mhm.
discuss it that this is what she wanted moving forward on
Mhm.
the next few years. Yung vision niya, hindi na
Mm.
siguro nagmi-meet sa vision ng HoloLive. So, at this
Mhm.
point, she doesn't want to be under any, corpo anymore. I don't know what's her future.
Yeah.
Wala naman, hindi ko aware actually kung anong
Yeah.
plan niya moving forward. So,
I also
most
don't
likely
know.
hindi.
Nobody.
Yeah, I
No
don't
one
know too.
knows. No
No
one
one knows.
knows. We're
Yeah,
just thinking of
observers.
thinking of possibilities,
Yeah.
probabilities.
Yeah, and that's most likely what happened. That's why a lot of people at first they want to be under a bigger roof because all the resources are there. The marketing and all that.
Yeah.
Everything is provided for you.
That's one
So,
of
yeah.
the I think that is one of the advantages of being in corpo. They provide, well, not really everything, but you get I think
Yeah, a lot.
you get a lot. Like you merch, they will handle it for you, or like promotions, they will handle that for you. And just being in corpo
Mm-mm.
gets you an instant audience. Like you just debut,
Yeah.
you have like thousands already watching you.
Yeah.
And legal, I think legal also, at least they cover
Yeah.
you legally.
Yeah.
So they have their advantages.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Because this also factors into burnout of like okay, we go to the indie side later on, but we haven't, because at this point we're just crawling on things, grasping on things. But I think we've figured out that the age of agency VTubing will only be as effective as it is if the agency is working like an agency and not as a bare bones skeletal thing. We've seen a lot of agencies collapsing in 2024. Seems that the agency model of VTubing, as much as we have little to no ability to like criticize it, is showing its weaknesses already to a point that VTubers or would-be VTubers are already demotivated. But is that really the feeling that we want to convey into this industry? Again, we have a working creative industry focusing on VTubers, where the artists and talents and the brands and the fans connect together. So, yun, at least I can share my thoughts on the whole matter first before we proceed to the topic about the fans and how the fans can help with doing, like, help the VTubers they love uh motivate themselves back into doing stuff. Moving forward, as a fan, I want to talk with the fans at this point, because the reality is it takes two to tango, and if as much as your VTuber is motivated to meet you, you are also motivated to meet them. But knowing already the signs of like your Oshi burning out, whether if she's like corporate indie or whatnot or in between, like uh people have the tendency to make a fuss about it all the time, right? People, well, especially with like VTuber news outlets like NewsDrop, we tend to we tend to sit things out for a long while before we actually report it as news. But we're just one part of the whole ecosystem. So yeah, as a fan, how can fans help their Oshi recognize the signs? Like if you have a fan or person of a fan in mind that that they already know, they already saw the signs that their Oshi is burning out, how can we help?
Personally, my fans can tell if I'm tired, and they tell me, go sleep. Go rest, go sleep. They would tell me, oh, you sound like you're sick today. And they would be, have you had have you had that check, like, I'm coughing, or have you had that check? You sound tired. Are you okay? I mean, the fans, they know. They know, and
Mm,
I think a lot of them would, they let the VTuber know. They let you know, like, you don't sound like you sound tired. Are
Yeah.
you sure you want to, like, I get that a lot. And then I would, if I really don't feel well, then I'll tell them, yeah, I don't feel well. I think we'll stop here. But if I feel like I think I can do it, then I can continue, or I can stream today, then I continue. You just assure them. But uh if you continue, even though you really don't feel like it, and the whole stream, they will let you know. At least in my
Mm.
experience, they really let you know. They tell you, maybe you should rest first, or yun.
Yeah. Same then. Like, there was one time my chat was like using the uptime command. Diba, it shows there how many hours you streamed.
Mm.
So that's their way
Oh,
of saying, "Hey, Oy, Mirai, you're streaming for a long while. So maybe it's time for you to rest." So yeah. If you have a good community, they will take
yeah, they
care
will
of
let
you
you
too.
know. They will
Yeah.
let you know.
So yeah, moving in, forward. As fans, here's what I understand from our discussion so far. As fans, if they will know, everyone will know if you're okay or not. I think it's also based on how you move. Kahit na, if you don't move along, even if you don't move a lot, your voice speaks
Mm-mm.
volumes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So so recognizing to recap the whole conversation, what we recognize here are three key points. One, there are signs of burnout that cannot be ignored, that can never be ignored at all. Well, the moment the moment you bottle up, tapos puputok ka na lang, all of a sudden people will not understand you, and they will make fun of you. They will make you like, you will be in the news. You will be in the TMZ of drama mills. Uh, and knowing that signs, and the possible solutions that we have, like a support system, I setting boundaries, setting expectations, setting proper expectations, knowing when to say something about the matter, and on the fan side, knowing when to tell your Oshi, maybe it's time to take a break. We'll be here. Like, I'm really proud of the fans who will really be up front and center about like a feelings, because if they're happy, you're happy, you're happy, they're happy. Then it's a
Yeah.
reciprocal feeling.
Mm.
Yeah. So what can you learn from this whole conversation, Mirai?
Burnout is inevitable.
Yeah,
It occurs to
definitely.
everyone,
It will
including
happen.
me and you.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's something that, um yun nga, lahat tayo meron. Like how we shared it earlier, na I have my version, Shiori has her version. Of course, Jay also has.
Mm.
And I think we all experience it in different forms. So the most
mm,
important thing is on how to, deal with it
Yeah.
properly. That's the best thing that we could, focus on. So yeah.
Recognize. Yeah.
mm,
Recognize what your the signs, or the signs of you
Yeah.
being burnt out. Because once you know, then you'll know that, oh, you have to deal with it. Like, you have to do something, so
Yeah.
that you don't progress further into a dark hole, or something. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah, so because I recognize what mine is. It's just like, oh, I'm excessive. I'm just too tired, or I just want to be a rock. No one touch me. I don't want to move. And, that's basically, that's
Yeah.
the first sign for me. Because, yeah.
mm. Well, with that said, then, I really appreciate the time. There's still a lot of time to discuss a lot of these things, and I know this is not the last time that we're going to uh, sit down together, discuss this even virtually about the matters of burnout. How can we help VTubers? How can we help fans? What are the best examples? What are the warning signs? Like, at this point, I think this is a good topic for a research thesis, if it's already like here,
Yeah,
like several case studies. We'd all
Yeah.
love to learn about case
we're there,
studies.
yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm. So with that said, Mirai, Doc, Shioripon, thank you very much for your time and thank you for joining us in this panel for OnLive. And is there anything you'd like to say to the OnLive audience and to the people who will watch this online?
Enjoy the con.
Yeah, enjoy
and
the con. Don't burn
and
yourself out.
yeah, take one step at a time. Don't pressure
Rest.
yourself.
Rest.
Rest.
When you get home, sleep.
Yeah.
Wag ka
Sleep.
na mag-league. Wag na kayo mag-league. Wag na kayo mag-Valorant. Matulog na kayo.
And touch grass, guys.
And touch grass.
Not the illegal grass, the real grass. Illegal
grass.
Illegal grass.
Once again, we thank Shioripon and Hello Mirai for joining yours truly in this panel discussion. And knowing the warning signs of burnout is very crucial because it will be too late if you landed on a mistake and you made terrible, terrible mistakes that can't be erased by the rubber eraser or something like that. We hope that this adds value to your experience, to your journey as VTubers, and we also hope that the fans who are also joining us in watching this presentation have a wider perspective, have a renewed understanding of how challenging VTubing is and entertaining people. So with that said, thank you very much for watching us, and this has been Jay with VTuberNewsDrop.com, and we will see you soon.